So hello and welcome everybody. Everyone doing all right today? Give me a thumbs up if you are feeling good. So hi everyone, my name is Richard. Yes, I am all the way from South Africa. If you can believe it, that's where I am originally from. And South Africans, our native language is English, if you didn't know. So that's pretty cool. But currently I'm living in England. So I'm calling you all from England. Yeah, so a little bit about myself before we start the session. I studied a Bachelor of Commerce degree, specializing in financial planning. But then I decided to change my whole industry entirely into teaching English. So I've been doing that for a little over 5 years now. I started out in Vietnam teaching because I couldn't teach English in South Africa because everyone already knows English. All right. So, but in Vietnam, pretty much nobody knows English. So I moved over there for 5 years, but ultimately I decided to move to England so I could be around family and things like that as well. So that's just a little bit about me. I'm 31 years old. I really enjoy cycling, walking, surfing in the ocean, as well as if I have some time, but these days I find that I don't. I like to play a bit of Xbox just to chill out if I can. So yes, today our presentation is going to be all about making a CV. And that is actually more important than I think some of us realize, right? I know when I was starting out in the professional world, I didn't really have this sort of guidance. So it's actually quite cool that I have the opportunity to provide this to you today. Okay, so the secret to getting ahead is getting started. So don't feel nervous, guys. Maybe you have a job opportunity coming up. Don't feel nervous about it. The secret to getting ahead is getting started. If you don't start, you don't get ahead. It makes sense. So I just wanted to start off with that quote. Here is our agenda for today, everyone. We're going to start with an activity. It's called a speed reading memory quiz. Oh my word. I thought, teacher, that we were just going to be listening to you talk. Well, there are some activities for you to do here, but because the class is just so big, it's going to be very hard for me to check everyone's work. So you can just do this in a personal way. You can check against your personal answers as well. All right. So after the quiz, we are going to jump into what is a CV? Okay. It's pretty basic, but we'll get into it. And also the difference between good CVs and bad CVs. You're going to identify that for me. Then we'll move into the three main types of CVs that we get out there. And then after we've looked at those three main types, we are going to look at what's the best type of CV. Because I'm sure some of you might be thinking like, we can't use the same CV for every situation. And that's true. We can't. So we better select the most appropriate one. All right. And then we'll be looking at some CV advice. I think that's why we're all here really, is to get some advice on writing CVs in English. And related to CV advice are some power verbs that we should be using. Some better verbs than just the plain boring ones that we already know. We should be using some other verbs instead to catch the attention of the employer. Then we'll move on to another section, which is very much related to CVs, guys. And this is something called a cover letter. So we'll discuss what a cover letter is. Then we'll move into some cover letter advice. And then linked with that cover letter are some useful adjectives that we should probably be using in those cover letters. And then something extra is converting interests and qualities into skills, because sometimes we have some things that we are interested in our lives and we feel like we have more to offer, but how do I relate that to a skill in the workplace to put on my cover letter? So we'll also talk about that, guys. And then we have something special at the end, a bit of a discount for you if you'd like. So hang around until the end, please, so you can get that information as well. So without any further ado, let's jump into our first activity for today. Okay, so actually, before I show you this, I'm just going to let you know once again, this is a speed reading memory quiz. Speed reading. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes It's not a lot of time to quickly read as much of this as you possibly can. This is a skill I do with my students. So look for the important words in the paragraph. That's my advice. Look for the important words so that you can finish this within 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, I'll ask you some multiple choice questions based on the article. So let's jump into it. Here is the article here. It's in 6 parts. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes and your time starts now. Okay, Sergey Bashto, I can't read your full name there. You're going to speed read. Read very quickly. This is a skill that I teach my students, so let's try practice it now. All right, so you have about 1 minute left. Okay, everyone, that's about 2 minutes. And if you have read this and the important keywords in each paragraph, I'm sure you'll be able to answer the next couple of questions. So let's get to the questions right now. Here they are. So in the chat box, let's answer question 1. 6 out of 10 CVs are A, attractive, B, badly written, or C, well done. What are your answers in the chat? So I see a lot of B's coming up, a lot of B's, yeah. Some people are saying badly written, a couple A's here and there. All right. Thank you for participating, everyone. I really enjoy that as well. I love it when my students participate. So, all right, a lot of B's, a lot of B's. All right. So now I'm going to show you the answers in a moment, but let's move on to question number 2. Recruitment companies say that potential clients A, make basic mistakes, B, only get 60% of CVs, or C, reject CVs with mistakes. What did we read? What did we speed read? I see a lot of B's here, a lot of A's. I see some people giving in some C's. I wonder if some of my students are actually here today. I recognize some names. Okay, so we've pretty much had some time to give our answers for that one. Number three now, moving on to question 3. The marketing director said that the best candidates, A, are the most affected, B, do not send CVs, or C, write the best CVs. Yeah, it also might be useful to put a number like 3C, for example, if you'd like to, so you know which one you are answering. Because some students are still answering question 2. In that case, put 2 in your answer. Okay, a lot of people, I see a mixed batch of A's and C's, a couple B's here and there. Alrighty, very good. Question number 4 now. The marketing director suggests that candidates ought to pay attention to a CV's presentation, other companies, other competitors. So question 4 now, A, B, or C? I wonder. A lot of people are saying A quite quickly as well. Maybe that was one of the easier questions. Maybe it's quite logical anyway. All right. Now we're going to move on to question number 5. The marketing director says that very often CVs include necessary details, unimportant information, or very little information. Yeah, I see a lot of B's coming up. Wow, you guys are quick readers, it looks like. That's very good to know. Seems like everyone's actually talking about B for question 5. Now, let's move on to question 6. Candidates should remember that employers are typical people. That means like normal people, are very busy people, or make an impression on people. What did we read from the text, I wonder? Yep, a lot of people are saying B again. Some people saying A. So it seems like a mix between A and B, but most people saying B. It seems like that. All right, cool. So definitely not many people are saying C then. Okay. Right. And the final one. A good CV should show what? The new job specifications, your marketing tools, or your overall skills. So I see many C's here as well. Some B's. I thought I saw an A before as well. All right, students. So remember the answers that you have given, because I'm going to reveal the correct ones right now. And let me know if you got everything correct. Okay. Be truthful, though. Be truthful. So here we go. Here are the answers. Okay. So it looks like number 1, 6 out of 10 CVs are badly written. Yep, that's the truth. Number 2, recruitment companies say that potential clients reject CVs with mistakes. So guys, this is why we are having this session today, is to avoid those mistakes. The marketing director for number 3 said that the best candidates are the most affected. Yeah, that can also sometimes happen, I would say. Number 4, the marketing director suggests that candidates ought to pay attention to the CV's presentation. That one, I think, was the most logical one. Number 5, the marketing director says that very often the CVs include unimportant information. So yeah, guys, remember to leave out unnecessary information. Keep the information to the specification of the job description as well. Okay. Number 6, candidates should remember that employers are very busy people. They really, really are. They are dealing with hundreds of CVs, if not thousands, depending on what position you are applying to. So they don't have a lot of time. And if you give them an opportunity to reject you, they will. For example, mistakes within a CV. If you can't get the CV correct, how can you do the job correct? That's exactly how they think. They don't have time for that. So the next one is a good CV should show your overall skills. I feel like that one was also quite a logical one as well. The next part is, what is a CV? Okay, sounds like a pretty easy question to answer, and it kind of is. So I have it summarized right over here. A CV is a brief account of a person's skills, education, qualifications, previous occupations, and experience. That is pretty much what a CV is, guys. And when I say brief, it means short. You'll have a look later. It should only be 1 page. If it's longer than 1 page, you're doing something wrong. It shouldn't be more than 1 page. Also, it's important to note over here that CVs are also referred to as resumes. All right. I think this is actually a French word, but English has decided that we will use it. Usually you will have a, I don't know what you call that, but on the E's, because we don't have that in English, that's another thing, another part of language. That's actually how you would spell it, with those lines above the E's over there. Resumes, CVs and resumes, same thing. All right, fantastic. Good job, everyone, with those scores. So that is what a CV is. Let's move on now. Good and bad CVs. This is actually a good question. Maybe you can identify a good CV and a bad CV. So let's have a look. Okay, so on our left-hand side, we have a CV, and this man's name is Rich Andrews. It's not me, by the way. I'm Richard Mattison. So it's not me, but it's somebody, probably somebody fake. And we have to answer 2 questions here. Is this a good CV? Sorry, spelling error. It should be, is this a good CV or a bad CV? Now, type your answers into the chat. Is this a good CV or a bad CV? So some people say bad CV. Are you sure? It has a lot of information here. So a lot of people saying bad, it's bad, 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 bad. Okay, so I think the consensus from the group is this is a bad CV. All right. So I suppose we could probably agree that it is bad because there are some mistakes over here. So what mistakes can you find? Not where are they, but what kind of mistakes can you see? Because you can't actually show me where the mistakes are. So what kind of mistakes are there? I see things like there's no skills. It's difficult to read. Yeah, there's no skills qualification. Some people said it's more of an informal style. I like that. Oh, yes. Thank you, Alexander Kotelevsky. He says spelling. And so did Hannah. Yep. There are so many spelling errors here, guys. If I got this CV and I was hiring, I wouldn't give this guy a second look, to be honest with you. Yep. There's no information about the target role. His interests. Yeah, well, interest is spelled wrong. Maybe some of his interests are a bit odd. Sleeping when it's raining outside. You might, that's sharing a bit too much information, I would say. I cannot read that name, but somebody did say bad structure. Yeah, I would have to agree. The layout of this is just plain wrong. So there are a lot of things wrong with this CV, guys. And oh, grammar mistakes. Thank you. Thank you. There are grammar mistakes here for sure. All right, guys. So I'm going to show you the basic problems with this CV on the next page over here. So it is a bad CV. You were all correct. There's spelling errors. There's punctuation errors as well. There are also grammar mistakes. And apart from that, there's style issues. He's including like very personal information, like sleeping when it's raining outside. Is that something like, is that really an interest? The interest that you should put here in your CV, guys, should show that you are a dedicated and determined person, right? Don't put sleeping when it's raining outside. That shows you more of a lazy, relaxed person. And if that's true, that's fine, but don't put it in your CV. Cool. So yeah, he spells street wrong, date spelled wrong, experience spelled wrong. His company name, he starts with a small v. So that's a punctuation issue. It should be a capital V, as well as factory. All right. And, you know, just his style, I would say, of speaking. Have a look here. He says he worked for this company, right? Valley Chicken Factory. That's fine. Well, capital V. But then his next point is listing his duties at work. And he writes killing chickens. You shouldn't write the word killing in your CV. I'm sorry. You would have to find a high level word that would imply the same thing, okay? But not killing chickens. He's got a grammar mistake here as well. Managing small team. It's managing a small team, or I don't know his situation. Maybe there were many teams. So he could have said managing small teams, plural. But we have to identify that in English, guys. Articles are very important. If no article, make it plural, but you can't leave it like that. Yeah, and just some capital letters he's left out here. Leeds is an area. So it needs a capital over there. Interest is spelled wrong. So a lot wrong with this. Cool. At least we know what a bad CV looks like, guys. All right, now let's get into the next type. And these are our focus point for today as well. These are the three main types of CVs. There are three main types. There could be others out there, guys. I'm not saying that these are the only ones, but the three main types that are the most popular are going to be the following that you will see soon. Okay, so the first one is called a chronological resume. And by the way, remember, resume means CV. Just note that, this word. It's not resume, okay? It's just in English, we don't have those characters to put above here. We say it resume, okay? So we have a chronological one. This one is probably the more familiar one that you're used to. It has your experience section right in the middle over here. It's the biggest part of it, all right? And notice here, we always have an introduction to your CV, okay? And let's have a look at that introduction section as well. You will see that in this new sentence, you might have to get closer to the computer to see, but he says, seeking to leverage my bartending skills. He doesn't say I am. So it's almost like they leave out the subject and they just keep the gerund in place. Okay, a gerund is basically a continuous verb, but there's no am, is, or are. Okay, so he's also leaving out the subject, but then just gerunds. That's a good style for this as well. It's got some of his basic contact details here. Education section, yep, relevant stuff, guys. You should be including relevancy in your chronological resumes as well. Then he's got skills and some accomplishments. So that's a chronological one. We've probably seen these already. Let's have a look at another one over here. A functional resume. So in this one, you can even see the style of his introduction is in bullet points. Interesting. It's different to a chronological one. But now his focus is on skills. That's the biggest part of this CV or resume. And you'll just see that the education and things like that are pretty much the same. He summarizes his experience here. He doesn't talk about all of his duties like he does in the chronological one. So that's a functional resume. And then, so a combination resume, as you can see here, it kind of is a bit of a mix and match here. It's when they want to use skills and experience. They try to focus on both of them at the same time. All right. And there are further skills that they list here, but maybe these skills here are more pertinent to the job at hand. They are more relevant to the job at hand, for example. All right, guys. So now we're going to continue into which one should we choose, though? It's very good knowing that there are three types of CVs that we use in the world, but which one is good for you? And it's going to be different. Maybe some of you are going to use chronological, some are going to use functional, some it might be better to use a combination resume. So we're going to have a look at that in just a moment. Yeah, so what's the best type of CV? Let's jump straight into it, everyone. So chronological, right? This is best if you are applying to a job in your current field or industry. So this one is why I say you probably know this one pretty well, because after university, spending all that time there and then working in that same industry, we might not want to change our industry, right? So that's why this one is probably the most common one that you've seen already. So some people are saying, which one is the best here? Number 3, all those types of things. So yeah, we're going to see, actually, it might not be the best. It depends on the situation that you are going towards, right? But if that is the best for you, then yeah, I would agree. But it's not the best for everyone. Cool. We also use chronological if your work experience and skill sets are intimately linked, right? So your work and skills are like, you need them together in order to do the job, okay? I suppose a lot of you are IT professionals, and that would ring true, very true for you as well. Or, and this is why I say it's also the most common one, if you are an entry-level candidate, right, then this would also be applicable for you, or maybe a student, something like that. Right. Let's move over to functional. This is the best if you want to change careers. All right. So actually, guys, I told you in the beginning that I studied a Bachelor of Commerce degree in financial planning. So I was a financial advisor, but then I changed to English. So actually, I used a functional CV when I went to Vietnam. I didn't use a chronological one. It wasn't much point because all of those things didn't apply to my new position. So I had to use the CV. You can also use the CV if you have large work gaps that you want to cover up. So some of us, we work in the industry, right? And then we decide life is too intense for you. Maybe you've just had a baby and you want to spend 3 or 5 years away from work, looking after the family and spending quality time with children. Whatever reason, you weren't working, right? And you have a big gap in your CV. Well, a lot of employers, most of them are going to ask you about that gap. So this would be a good one to use in that case. All right, moving on. If you are applying to a job where the skill requirements are emphasized more than work experience, that's also a very good option for you guys, right? Because this one focuses on the skills, right? So some jobs are just like that. I mean, I know a lot of IT jobs can be like that as well. But not always, guys. So don't get me on that one. But I've worked with some of you guys, and yeah, the skills are emphasized. Can you do the job? Can you do this? Yes or no? I've had other IT professionals say no, they are more worried about work experience than skills, but then others say no, skills and experience. So you have to know the company and what they want. Research your company as well before applying. Know what they want. Know where their gaps are. And then combination would be pretty good for you guys if you are a mid-career professional or higher and you want to climb the ladder even further, right? For example, if you are also an expert in your field. So an expert is really, you've got like 10 years already in this field. You even train people who enter your field. You might even train mid-level managers and things like that as well. So a combination one will be the best fit for you. Also, if you are applying to a job that requires a lot of technical skills and expertise. So I've heard of people saying that this one is also good for the IT industry. Yeah. But again, guys, it depends where you are in your career. If you're just starting out in the career or you've been there for 5 years or you've been there for 10 years, depends. Maybe you want to change careers, things like that. So it depends on your situation personally as to which one you're going to choose. So to help you choose, there are some questions that you could ask yourself. Firstly, you would have a look here and say, what kind of job seeker are you? Entry level or experienced? All right, so if you are experienced, you would answer the next question. Are you changing to a new industry? Maybe you say, no, I'm not. Okay. Have you had an employment gap of 1.5 years? Then they say no. Okay. Chronological will probably be the best one for you. Probably. Okay. On the other hand, let's say you were entry level. Maybe you know somebody who is. Do you have an internship or volunteer experience? Maybe you don't have. Okay. Do you have relevant skills for your job? Yes, I do. Then probably functional. All right. So this is an example of a very good CV. This is a pretty much a real CV, just the numbers and addresses and names have been changed and the company names and everything. But this is typically a real CV that you could see. I think it looks quite professional as well. You can use a bit of color in your CV, but I would say choose like maybe two colors or 3 colors maximum, like black, white, and then orange, for example. Try if you can, try to match your color scheme to the company who you're applying to. What colors do they use for their logo? Because that tends to show that you've done research as well and that you are a team player. You're already wearing the team colors. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. So my question is to you all, what kind of CV is this? Is it a chronological, functional, or combo? Let's type your answers into the chat as well. So we have some chronological. Someone said a combo. I see no one is saying functional. Okay, so an easy way to remember the difference between them is, right, chronological is dealing with experience. That's the highlight of the CV. In other words, that's the biggest part of the CV is about experience. If it is functional, the biggest part is about the skills. And if it is combo, there's an equal balance, quite an equal balance between experience and skills. Okay, so I'm going to reveal the answer. We've had some time to think about this. And the answer is, it's a chronological CV. Oh my word. Rich, why did I say that? Well, experience is the biggest field over here. Let's have a look. It takes up, well, I don't know, 70 to 80% of the page. That's definitely what they want us to focus on. Therefore, it is chronological. And also they start from June 2013 and they work their way up until the most recent one, present, is at the top over there. So it's chronological. It's going in order of time. Yes, we do have skills here, but it's not a focal point. It's a something extra over there, right? That's why this is a chronological. If this was combination, this skills category would be expanded a lot more. They wouldn't just say problem solving. They would explain maybe situations where that it has occurred, pretty much like this. They would explain a little bit more like they have done here, and it would be equal to the experience. On the other hand, if it was a functional resume, well, skills would be over here where experience is and expanded upon in more detail. And then experience would be summarized. Okay, so we can see skills is summarized, experience expanded, it's chronological. All right. So let me clear the screen of my drawings and then we may continue. All right. So here we're getting into some CV advice, everyone. So I think this is quite an important part to pay attention to as well. So now you know what kind of CV you want. Now we're going to see how can we adjust it to make it look right and feel right. Okay. So number one, always left align the content, right? Just like that. Don't have like a left and then an indent left. Just left align all of your stuff like that. Quite important. Some people like to do it right aligned or middle, but no, left aligned. Cool. Number two, maintain a 1-page length. This is going to be applicable to most CVs, not all, but most of them. However, this is where we get to however, there are some reasons to break this rule of the 1-page length. If you have an abundance, this means if you have a lot of relevant professional experience, guys. Now I have to highlight it is professional experience. So this is like maybe you have over 10 years and you're moving up into like a top management position. Maybe you want to include more information. All right. You don't want to summarize that. The second point here, if you're writing a management level or executive resume, exactly what I've said. Those are quite related. Usually a lot of executives and management guys, they have the professional experience behind them as well. But it just depends. Maybe you don't want to move into a management role or executive role, but you have a lot of professional experience, then you can do it this way. Or if you are a student, if you're an academic and you have multiple publications. So this is when you've written in scientific journals, for example, you definitely want to show that off. You're not going to include the whole journal, but you're going to include your journals and the reference to them so that they can actually go and view your work. All right. So it says here, apart from the introduction, do not use full sentences. All right. If we just go back quickly over here, these sentences over here are not full because they are missing things like subject, for example. I schedule, it doesn't say that, just schedule and coordinate meetings. It's a good summary. Appointments and travel arrangements for supervisors and managers. That's enough. Cool. But you'll see the introduction has more of a full sentence approach. They use full stops and sometimes commas to indicate two clauses. So over here, the commas are not to indicate different clauses, but rather a list. Remember, a comma can be used for a list or joining two independent clauses together, or two clauses in general. All right, so don't use full sentences, only in the intro. Cool. This is a typical style that we use, especially if you are designing yours in Microsoft Word. You are able to adjust the margins. Okay, now you can do the calculation as to what this will be in centimeters. Okay, but these are inches. Okay, when you see these two lines over here, they are inches. So they say use 0.63 by 1 inch margins. Okay, guys, don't make it smaller than that. Don't make it bigger than that. That's pretty much what we are looking for in a CV. Okay, right. That's it for there. I've had students send me their CVs to review, and I instantly look at it and I'm like, your margins are out. Like, that's the first thing I notice. So make your margins look more professional, and this is the range. Okay. Number 5, stick to a recommended resume font style and size. Okay, this is also quite an important one, guys. Font style is really important, as well as the size of the font. So in Microsoft Word, you can go up there and you can choose what type of font you want, and there's a number next to it, how big it is. So these are the most popular ones that they use. Okay, they used Book Antiqua, Georgia, Side, Trebuchet, Microsoft, Arial Narrow, Garamond, Calibri is one of the most popular ones I've seen, by the way. It's very easy on the eyes, right? Helvetica is also a good one. Cambria, Didot for headings, not for everything, okay? And they say for the most part, the font size shouldn't fall below 10.5. And I'm sure you know how to adjust the size, and it shouldn't exceed 12. So you have a bit of leeway there for the font size. Guys, notice here, it does not say Times New Roman. Do you know that default font by Microsoft? Never use it for anything. Please, actually, if you can delete that font from your library, please do so. It has no space in the professional world anymore. It's a very outdated font style. Just putting that out there. Yeah. Also, guys, it goes without saying, but be truthful. Be truthful. Don't lie on your CV, because lies do come out and they will find out. So don't lie on them, please. Number 7, my favorite point, absolutely no spelling mistakes. Guys, really, you can type your CV on Microsoft Word, and it will give you a red underlined squiggle if it is spelled incorrectly. There's no excuse anymore. You even have Google to check if this is spelled correctly or not. In this day and age, you don't even need to be a native speaker to avoid spelling mistakes in a CV, because if you have so much time to prepare it, there should be no mistakes there. And then number 8, always ask somebody to check your work. For example, like me, your teacher. Something like that. Find somebody who might be able to assist you. Get somebody to check your work as well, guys, because there could be a small mistake you didn't see. All right. So that's basically the general CV advice for layout and style and things like that I have for you there. Now we're going to move on to power verbs, the language that you use. Okay. So a power verb is a verb that is more specific and it more accurately describes your experience and your intentions. All right. So power verbs show that you are a stronger and more attractive candidate over someone else who uses plain, boring, or we could say generic verbs. All right. But make sure that you fully understand the meanings and where to use power verbs, as an incorrect use of these power verbs can actually cost you dearly. So don't just use these amazing verbs if you don't quite understand where they fit. That's my advice, guys. I see a lot of students as well. They want to use this amazing vocabulary to show, look, I'm using my best English, but that high level word is not appropriate for the sentence they're making. Be careful of that. This links back to ask people to check your work for you, a native speaker if you can, because they will most certainly pick up these power verbs and give you alternatives to use. So, for example, don't use did. Did is boring. An alternative could be implemented. That's a bit of a better one. Helped. Such a generic verb. We help people all the time. Use assisted. It's a bit of a higher level word. Made, rather created. Led. This is the past tense of lead. When you lead or show someone, you can manage someone as well. So those are just some nice examples there about power verbs, guys. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind as well. Those eye-catching verbs. All right. So we're going to move off the CV topic a little bit, but this is so closely related to CVs, especially like in Western countries like America or England or Australia. Your CV is usually one page, as I've said. Can be a little bit longer. But what goes with your CV is the cover letter. Now, this is what convinces people if they're going to take you or not. This is how you word yourself. This is how you come across to people as a person, because you have a chance to write some paragraphs about your intentions. All right. You can use those power verbs here too, by the way. So a cover letter usually accompanies a CV and is a one-page document as well that explains to the hiring manager why you are the ideal candidate for the position. This is your chance to talk, basically, or to write, I should say. It goes beyond your CV or resume to explain in detail how you could add value to the company. I want to stress that. This is how you can add value. Key point, I'll say it again. I should have actually put it in bold. How you could add value. This is your opportunity right here. The CV doesn't really do that. The CV just tells you about the background. They don't know what value you could add. Here's the opportunity, guys. So this is slightly blurry, but it gets the point across. Here is a typical cover letter over here. We usually include today's date. If you know the hiring manager's name, sometimes we don't, because you might be going through a recruitment agent. So you could just say to whom it may concern, if you like. And if you do have the company's address and everything there, that's fine. Put all that stuff in. Dear hiring manager's name. It would be a good idea to find out the hiring manager's name. Sometimes it's not always possible. So here you could also just replace that with either dear sir, madam. That would be quite a nice one here as well. All right, so let's break down the sections. The top part is the contact information. Fine. The next part is your salutation. Salutation is your dear sir, madam, or dear Mr. or Mrs. and their surname, and then your introduction. So you should greet the hiring manager by name if you can, then grab their attention by highlighting your relevant area of expertise, why the position appeals to you, and how you'd be a great fit for the role. That's a good summary over there. That's where we should do it. Then we get to our main section, our body paragraphs, right? This is where you should explain how you can help the company achieve its goals, showcasing your relevant experience, education, and skills. Yeah, it makes sense. We should probably do this. And also express your excitement to join the company and start doing excellent work. Yeah, like joining the team, things like that. People love to hear that you're excited to join a team as well. Even though your role might not be team-based, they want to know that you can do it as well. Okay. The next one is the call to action. Yes, this is an important part as well. This is where you tell the hiring manager to send you an invitation to attend a job interview. All right. And it says, don't end your cover letter with a weak statement about how you hope to hear from them. I hope to hear from you soon. No, get rid of that. Act like you deserve an invite, because you do deserve it. That's why you're applying, because you think you deserve it, and show that. Don't say, I hope to hear from you. Like, I don't even like this one here, to be honest. The one in the article here is actually quite good. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. It's almost like you are asking him to contact you. If you say, I hope, it's like you're not so sure that it's going to happen, but I'm looking forward to it. It's like, I can see it. It's going to happen. Use that kind of language. You can get this presentation. I'm sure we can make it available. This is a good one. And then finally, we sign off. This is just simply sincerely and your name. So it says use professional cover letter closing, such as sincerely or regards or best regards, and sign your name off. And that's your cover letter done. All right, guys. So you might want to have a look at this one and just change it to your role that you would be applying to. Okay. So some advice with the cover letter as well. Let's jump into some of that. As we know, a cover letter follows a formal or business letter style. Okay. So don't write this letter as if you're writing to your girlfriend or your friend. Obviously not. You have to keep it in a formal or a business letter style. All right. Also, try to address the contact person by their name instead of to whom it may concern. But sometimes, guys, I know you don't know the hiring person's name, so then you have to use to whom it may concern. That's a good default phrase to use if you don't know. Avoid using contractions when applying for a professional role. What is a contraction? Let me show you what a contraction is. So for example, we say, wait, where am I? We can say it's. That is a contraction. We shouldn't use that in these letters. You should rather type it all out and say it is. All right. So don't contract it. Use the full 2 words, it is, in your typing. Also, do not use idioms and slang. Maybe you feel proud that you've learned some idioms in English because some of them are difficult to understand, but don't use them here. Not in this section, guys. And definitely no slang. Please, no. Also, make use of power verbs, as I've just mentioned as well. And also make use of relevant and meaningful adjectives. Important. Right, let's continue now. Also, you can make use of synonyms. So synonyms are different words, but have a similar or same meaning. I would encourage that you use those. They're actually quite easy to find online on Google. If you type in like synonym of, and then you have the word that you want a synonym of, it'll give you a list of synonyms. But be careful, get somebody to check them. Not all synonyms are direct synonyms, okay? Some are for certain situations. Be mindful of that. Word count, maximum 400 words, but no less than 250, please. Whoops, sorry, I clicked by mistake. The ideal length is about half a page to 1 page, somewhere around there. Paragraph count, 3 to 4 paragraphs in length, or 3 to 4 paragraphs long. Make sure your sentences are short and direct as well. You can have some complex sentences as well, but keep them like fairly short and direct. And use the active voice, very important. Don't use passive voice, please. Active voice, it's really helpful. Okay, we're gonna jump into some useful adjectives here. So now we are going to have a look at these, and we're going to match the adjectives on the left-hand side to the definition on the right-hand side. And these adjectives are something that you can use in your CV writing as well as your cover letter writing. So let's do it. Let's see. A, flexible. You can type a number for me in the chat. So what do we think? Flexible, what does it mean? Does it mean number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5? What do we think? So I see a lot of people are saying 3. Very good, very good. Could be, could be. I'm not going to share the answer quite yet. So a lot of people are saying 3 over here at the minute. Let's move on. Determined. So which one does B match with? A lot of people are saying number 2, I see. Some people are saying 2. Some people are saying 6. Some people are saying 4. Very good, very good. A lot of people are saying 6, has strong reasons for doing what they are doing and works hard because of these. Interesting answers, guys. So now let's do C, organized. What would that mean? I see Anad has said 2, number 2. So has Olga and Lily. Very good, guys. So that one, I think most people are agreeing that it is 2. So let's move on. D, motivated. Aims for high goals and wants to achieve a lot in their life and career. Very good. Most people are saying 4. Let's move on. Ambitious. E. Which one does that mix with? Some people saying 6, some people saying 4. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Very mixed answers over here, I can see. But that's good. We're thinking about it when you're expressing our opinions on this. F, enthusiastic. A lot of people are saying 7, so that one is a bit more clear. Let's jump to G, easygoing. So a lot of people are also feeling the 8. A lot of people are feeling 8 over here. Some people say 7 as well. Okay, very good. And the final one, H. What do you think H could be? Confident. All right, and that leaves us with number 1. Okay, so now we're going to check the answers over here now. Okay, so they say flexible is number 3. Can adapt their abilities to new situations. Determined is number 5. Strives for a consistently high standard of work, they say here. Number 2 is organized, plans their schedule carefully and keeps their desk tidy. Yeah. Letter D, motivated, is number 6. Strong reasons for doing what they are doing. Yep. Ambitious, number 4, aims for high goals and wants to achieve a lot in their work career and their lives, in fact. Letter F, enthusiastic. Number 7, put a lot of energy into their work. G, easygoing, gets on with other people well. That means you are a very sociable person. You don't make people angry. People like you. That is, gets on with someone. And then confident is number 1, believes in your own abilities. Very good work, students. So let's move on now. You can always go search for the definition of these as well, or you can take a screenshot. I think we'll probably be able to send the presentation, as I've said. I'm not sure, though. I haven't been told that we can, but we probably could. Okay, so let's move on. We've got some more things to do. We're nearly at the end as well. So converting interests and qualities into skills. This is quite a nice section. So let's jump into it. On the left-hand side are possibly some things that you feel that you are skilled at or you enjoy, but they don't really relate to the job at all, but you do them in your spare time or things like that. And you want to show that as well, because that's a part of you and you want to show that, okay? So for example, if you enjoy playing fast-paced, exciting computer games, don't say that. Rather say, I'm observant, I react quickly, and I work well under pressure. Well, yes, that is true. You are describing your computer games over there, right? So it's just thinking about the same concept in another way, right? Trying to make it work for you. That's what this is all about. If you believe in committing your enthusiasm and energy to everything you do, there's another way to put it. I have a positive attitude and I'm eager to take on new experiences. Cool. If you believe that practice makes perfect for everyone from sports to school exams, maybe sport and school exams doesn't apply to your job. So maybe you could use these words. I'm persistent. I'm determined, and I'm motivated and goal-oriented. Then that would be a better way. All right, guys. So this is just a general idea of what you could be saying. Let's pay attention to the right-hand side, though. Now, because this is the language you could actually use and take away from this. I focus on my tasks and get a lot of satisfaction out of completing them well. I communicate well. I'm able to interact with others. I have demonstrated leadership ability. Very good. Okay, cool. I'm determined, direct, and assertive. Maybe that's what you need for your role. Well, I'm a team player and work well cooperating with others. These are the same way as the left, but it's more useful in our CVs. All right, so we are coming to the end of our presentation today, everyone. I just want to say, let's have a look at this interactive workbook. So this is very useful if you want to create a resume or a CV. It's the same thing that gets you interviews, as well as revamp. That means put more energy into your LinkedIn page, as well as boost your interview skills. So we have a promo code over here, Hunt20. You can get $20 off. So please take note of this promo code, guys, so you can get this interactive workbook. It's interactive, so it's much better than a normal workbook. It's interactive. All right. So I think that is, I'm nearly done for today. I just want to say, yeah, if you'd like to learn with us effortlessly at English for IT, I am a teacher that works for them, and there are tons of other teachers here, and we focus on business English, focus for the IT sector as well. I would like to meet some of you at some point, so come on over and join English for IT. All right, guys. So that's it from my side. I'm not sure if Kate has anything to say, but it was great to present to you today, everyone. So have a fantastic day and an even better weekend. That's all from me, guys. Goodbye.